So, good afternoon, everybody. In fact, I must thank the CSE for giving me this opportunity to speak before you. And all the delegates, my senior colleague, Dr. Mandal, he delivered a very good lecture, a thought-provoking lecture. And now, my job will be a little easier for me. So, point is, my question was, they gave me a question that whether is India losing its soils. Dr. Mandal has given a very good grasp of the subject and the future course of action. Basically, I belong to Indian Institute of Soil Science, that is a research institute under the Indian Council of Agricultural Research of Government of India. And presently, I am principal scientist and head of the division. So, we have about 94 centers all across the country in different state agricultural universities, in different ICAR research institutes on different aspects of soil management. So, this will be context. As the topic says, is India losing its soils? I will be covering these 6 sub-topics or subheads. First one will be land degradation status of India. When we are saying is soil getting degraded or is India losing its soils, so first thing will be land degradation status of India. As of now, what is this status? Then soil loss. Whether soil is getting lost, then how much, what should be the critical limit? So soil loss in quantity terms, and even suppose soil is intact, then soil may be losing its potential or fertility to produce or to do its actions. That is called soil quality. So whether soil is losing its quality, loss of soil quality. Fourth one will be whether fertilizer is at fault, as Dr. Mandal was also telling. We very often say that the chemical fertilizers are at fault. So we will examine with some experimental evidences. We conducted at our institute, also other research institute. So each fertilizer at fault. Some case studies we will discuss. Then some remedial measures. So in this I will start with some key facts about soil. Soil, as the word says, S-O-I-L, that is source of infinite life. S is for source, O is for of, I is for infinite, and L for life. Okay, because I have to point out. 95% of the food, it comes from soil. You should remember this. 95% of our food. And in 1 spoon of soil, there are more living organisms than the total population of Earth. And out of the 18 natural occurring elements for plants, 18 elements are essential. 18 essential elements are there for plants. That means all these elements are required for plant growth. Without that, plants will not be able to complete their life cycle. So out of 18, 15 are supplied by soil. And to meet the global food demand by 2050, we have to increase our food production by 60%. That means more than double. And up to 58% of the food can be produced through sustainable soil management. And the latest data on Food and Agriculture Organization, which is based at Italy, Rome, it says that globally 33% of the soils they are already degraded. For that, now the United Nations, they are celebrating World Soil Day. I think you might have heard. World Soil Day on December 5th. Just to raise awareness about the Mother Earth or Mother Soil. Then first is the land degradation status of our country. This is actually, this thing I have borrowed from Space Application Center at Ahmedabad. They have a report, they have an atlas, Degradation and Desertification Atlas of India. When we say what is the change, you see 2003 to 2005, then what is the change after 10 years? Then what is the change after 10 years? Many agencies actually they have estimated the land degradation status. But what I could find is this has been compiled by me. This agency has used the same methodology. They have used remote sensing data and same sensor data. So for that it is easy to compare. Because for instance, for example, in 2018-19, total degraded area is about 98 million hectares. The last column, 98 million hectares. That means 30% of the soil in our country is degraded. It is degraded. And in 2003-2005, it was about 95 million hectares. That means every year about 1.5 million hectares it is increasing the degradation, total degradation. So our question was, is India losing its soil? I must say that to some extent it is substantiated from this slide. Okay, every 10 years it is losing about 1.5 million hectares to degraded soil. And the different categories are water erosion, wind erosion. Among the different degradation categories, water erosion is the most critical element, or it is the most, what to say, the most important causal factor. About 36 million hectares out of the total 98, 36 million hectares is because of water erosion. And wind erosion, it is in the semi-arid and arid regions. And then salinity, acidity, those problems are there. I have not listed all the things. Just to make you aware, what to say is about 1.5 million hectares, every 10 years it is going for degradation. So, then coming to the status, it is now that land degradation, now people are talking. You see, UNCCD, Dr. Monroe was saying United Nations Convention on combating desertification. Desertification is the soil is getting, the land is getting desertified. Okay? In 1994, they have given this definition. Land degradation means the soil is or land is losing its biological capacity or economic productivity consistently over time. Every year it is losing. It is not that this year the production was less and next year it was good. It is not like that. If the soil is degraded or if the land is degraded, there is a consistent reduction in the biological or economic productivity of land. So in the year 1994 they have given this definition. And later, because soil has multiple functions, it is not that soil is only producing food. Soil has to do some other functions also. I will cover in the next slides. So the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, they added this term, that is ecosystem goods and services. So soil has to provide ecosystem goods and services. So if it is not providing, that means the soil is getting degraded. Okay. And desertification, it is a special case of land degradation. It happens only in arid regions, dry regions, like our Rajasthan or parts of Gujarat, like that. So desertification is covered under land degradation. All degraded lands will not be desertified lands, but all desertified lands will be degraded lands. It is a subset of land degradation. Now, these are the different factors why the soil is getting degraded or why the land is getting degraded. These are the different factors. For instance, change in land use and land cover and improper land use practices. Cultivating marginal lands, we have to produce food and we don't have land. What will we do? We have to go to the degraded lands. So cultivation of marginal or degraded lands, that is another reason. And then shortening the fallow period of land. Suppose we are giving rest the land gets restored. You might have heard in northeastern regions of India, there is a practice called shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation, they call zoom cultivation. So what they do actually? Earlier they were giving a fallow period of about 7 to 8 years. But because of population pressure, that fallow period has decreased to 2 to 3 years. So in 2 to 3 years, the soil is not getting restored. But we are going for cultivation. So what happens in net result is the soil is getting more degraded. So this shifting cultivation is in parts of Odisha as well as in mostly in the northeastern regions of India, northeastern regions. Then deforestation, these are the different common causes we know. Unsustainable agriculture management practices, over irrigation, this is a new practice, in particular in dry and semi-arid and arid regions. If you go for over irrigation, then the soils will become saline. Then from salinity it will become alkaline. Alkaline means sodium ion will be more dominant in the soil and it will cause dispersion, it will cause lot of problem in the production system. Then different activities like mining, illustration, those things. So that was about land irrigation. What about the soil loss? Is India losing soil? The question was, is India losing its soils? Our annual soil loss is 16.4 tons per hectare at present, in comparison to the permissible soil limit of 11.2 tons per hectare per year. And this 11.2 tons per hectare per year is an average value. It is an average value in the sense, in hilly regions, let us say for instance Aravalli Hills, we cannot lose more than 2.5 tons per hectare per year. But where the soil is at a good health, we can afford to lose more than 50 tons per hectare per year. So permissible soil loss limit value is 11.2 tons per hectare per year, but we are losing currently at 16.4 tons per hectare per year. And as I was saying, different agencies have given their different estimations. This estimation, 120 million hectares of our country is degraded. This has been given by ICR and National Academy of Agricultural Sciences in the year 2010 from a different database, an harmonized database. And we lose about 5.3 billion tons of soil every year. With soil, what happens? When soil is getting eroded or when it is getting displaced, along with that, it also carries nutrients. But our nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, I told there are 15 elements which soil is providing. So when soil is going, along with that, all these nutrients are going. And most of the nutrients, what we purchase from chemical fertilizers, they are soluble. So when they are soluble, so when the soil is lost, along with that water is also lost. So both through soil as well as through eroded water or water erosion, these nutrients are getting lost. And this extent is to the tune of 5.37 to 8.4 million tons every year. And from the eroded soil, about 10% is getting deposited in reservoirs, and about 29% it goes to seas and oceans. And as earlier speaker was telling you, it takes about 1,000 years to produce 1 inch of soil. So this is the status of soil loss. What is the soil loss presently taking place in India? Now, there is a estimation of potential soil loss. Recently, it is published in year 2024. So the national mean annual potential of soil loss is 21 tons. This is potential. This is the maximum soil loss we can have in our country is 21 tons. But present value is 60 tons. This is calculated using some model devised USLV, Russell model they call it. And out of the 20 districts, 9 districts are in the state of Assam. So in comparison to 11.2, where we can lose to the extent of 21 tons if the conditions are conducive for use. These conditions are like high rainfall, highly erodible soil, if the surface is not covered. So all these factors actually they contribute to soil erosion. If the surface is not covered, if the soil is not managed, that means suppose slope is there, hill slope is there, and we are cultivating along this slope, what will happen? All the soil will get lost and they will get replaced in reservoir. On the contrary, we have some practices they call terrace farming, that is across the slope. If the slope is like this, we have to cultivate across the slope. So what will happen? There will be barrier in each segment. So when there will be barrier, naturally the velocity of the water gets minimized. When the velocity of the water gets minimized, naturally the erosive power of the water or runoff it gets reduced. So this is potential soil loss of India. Now we'll come to the second aspect. This is the soil loss in physical terms. But the second aspect, what I was telling is, soil is intact, but it is not fertile, it is infertile, it is incompetent. So whether it is happening or not, that will also examine. So for that, this is the comprehensive concept we should examine. Soil health or soil quality concept. But it takes mostly the scientists as well as policymakers, they focus on chemical parameters, our nutrients. But what happens to the soil physical property? Whether soil is getting harder or it is getting softer. What is the flora? Flora means microbes, other organisms. What happens to them? Earlier, suppose we dig the soil, lot of earthworms they used to come up. I think nobody will be seeing nowadays. Earthworms will not be there. Why they are not coming up? So to examine those aspects, we use this concept, soil health concept. And as I was telling, soil performs multiple functions. It is not that it produces only food. Apart from food, it stores nutrients, it stores carbon, it stores water, and also it recycles those things. If we are pumping, let us say, organic matter, and there will be no recycling, then where from the plants will draw nutrients? Because whatever carbon we are supplying this organic matter, they have to mineralize, they have to get recycled, so that they come to mineral form, nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, like that. So I am not going to very high technical terminologies. So if that doesn't happen, naturally plants will not be able to take up the nutrients from soil. Then one important function is filtering action. Maybe about 30 years before, we might not have heard about RO water. RO water. Earlier we used to take water from open wells, normal dog wells, in villages or also in towns, maybe tube wells. But now you just go, everybody will tell you give us RO water or bottled water. Why? This is one of the major causes, because performance of soil or functions of soil is getting deteriorated. And this action, particular filtering and buffering action, or detoxifying action of soil has got reduced. And this is one of the vital functions of soil. So I will not go to details of this. Then other question is whether our soil is getting deteriorated, our soil health is getting deteriorated. How we know? There are certain indicators. We cannot examine the soil health through direct means. We have to go through indirect measures. So this is one of the measures for decline of the measures to show that the soil health has declined. You see, this is a decadal change in fertilizer use efficiency. Decadal means 10 years interval. From 61 to 69. It was with 1 kg of fertilizer, we are producing about 100 kg of grains. But with time, this has decreased from 101 to 37 in the next 10 years. Like that, we are stagnated at around 10. That means earlier it was 100 kg of grain or food grain with 1 kg of fertilizer. Now we are producing with 1 kg of fertilizer, 10 kg of grain. That means how many times the soil health has reduced? 10 times. So this is a clear-cut evidence of deterioration of soil. Okay? We will examine some other indicators also. And this data we have compared from the Fertilizer Association of India. Those people who sell fertilizers, from their book, this has been compared. Then, emerging multi-nutrient deficiencies in soil. Multi-nutrient deficiencies means we need 15 elements, essential elements from soil. In 50s, we heard about deficiency of nitrogen, that means urea. In 60s, there are reports of iron deficiency. Iron deficiency in different crops like rice or crops. Then 70s, nitrogen, iron, phosphorus, zinc, potash. Then 80s, it increased to sulfur, manganese. Reports of deficiencies in Indian soils. Then 90s, boron was added. 2010 again the same status continued, and we don't know some other nutrients maybe are deficient. Some reports may also drop off in future. That means with time, with production, our deficiency, nutrient deficiency, number of nutrients which are getting deficient is getting increased. So that means multi-nutrient deficiency is getting increased. So coming to the status, this actually this was done in our institute, Indian Institute of Soil and Global. So this is the status of deficiency of different nutrients, micronutrients particularly, and secondary nutrients. What is secondary? What is micronutrients? Means they are required in very small quantity, like iron, zinc, boron. So they are required copper, manganese, then sulfur. Sulfur deficiency is about 41% of the soils are deficient in sulfur. This is the data of 2021, just 3 years before it was published. Then zinc deficiency, 37% of the soils they are deficient in zinc. Then boron deficiency 29%, and others are listed. So my point is, when so many nutrients are getting deficient, the fertilizer use efficiency is getting reduced. That means to get the same amount of production, we have to apply 10 times more fertilizer or 10 times more nutrients in the current status. That means our soil fertility or soil health is getting reduced. Then this is 5 minutes. No, already over. Okay. So I just will. This is the status of fertilizer use by farmer size group. Different farm patterns are there. Marginal farmers, small farmers, and if you see marginal farmers, those farmers who are having less than 1 acre of land, they depend more on fertilizers as compared to the large farmers. That means lower the farm size, more is the fertilizer use. That means we need more awareness. We need to bring more awareness to the small and marginal farmers to reduce fertilizer use and to depend on integrated plant nutrient supply system. Here I am showing a long-term fertilizer experiment which we are conducting. Here this control means no fertilizer is added since last 25 years. Nitrogen means only nitrogen. That means only urea has been applied since last 25 years. No other fertilizer. NPK means all urea, phosphorus, potash. You see, in the only nitrogen plot, now a single crop is getting pursued. That means the soil health has got deteriorated. That means we have to have, where NPK plus FM means carbide manure plus nitrogen, phosphorus or potash, we are getting a very good. So this is the crop of maize, the same with wheat. Then we had a study in four districts having high fertilizer consumption of India. Udhamsing Nagar in Uttarakhand, West Godavari in Andhra and Davangere. They use 545, 600, 350 kg per acre of fertilizers. So what is happening to those districts? This was actually funded by BHP and Department of Science and Technology. We found that about 68% of the samples, the soil quality index, we measure in terms of soil quality index, it has deteriorated. West Godavari is 69%. Davangere like this. And the measure is we collected why, what is the problem? We collected the questionnaires or collected the reports from the farmers also. The major reason was imbalanced fertilizer application. And farmers are not applying manures. This thing has to be made aware to the farming group. Just like for human nutrition, we need roti, rice, vegetables, everything. We don't eat only rice. Similarly, why we should give our soil only urea? Along with urea, we should also give manures. We should give green manures. We should give biofertilizers. This is called integrated plant nutrient supply system. If somebody is taking only rice, what will happen? There will be diabetic problem. In the same way, these plants also they need a combination of sources. Nutrients they will take, but sources has to be combined. So this is called integrated plant nutrient supply system. That means fertilizer is not at fault, but fertilizer use is at fault. We should check or we should rectify our system. And as Dr. Mandal was telling, soil carbon or organic matter is food for microbes. And for that, this is last slide. For that, what we should do? If the soil is degraded, the question was, is India losing its soil? Yes, definitely yes. It is losing in physical quantity as well as it is losing in quality terms. Okay? If it is so, then what remedial measures? What are the different remedial measures we should take? And these are the three different categories. For soil and water conservation and management in general areas, we should go for agroforestry, restoration of pasture lands, then renovation of water bodies, rainwater harvesting, groundwater recharge, something like that, and balanced nutrition, integrated plant nutrient supply system. And for controlling water erosion, these are different practices. I was telling control bonding, or control bonding means across the slope, bonds will be constructed. Control fencing, terrace farming, in Sopi range it is common, mulching, conservation areas, tree cropping, these are the practices which need to be promoted for controlling water erosion. Then where wind erosion is there, these are the practices, agroforestry, shelter beds, then wind breaks, controlling overgrazing, these are the different practices we should do. So with this, I thank you very much for your kind presence. And I must say that healthy soils are prerequisite for a healthy life. If the soil is not healthy, we have to take zinc supplements. Just like during COVID time, you might have heard, doctors were prescribing zinc supplements. That means in our food, zinc was not sufficient. So why it was not sufficient? Because our soil was deficient. So if the soil is healthy, then naturally it comes to food, and from that it comes to animal, it comes to human. So with this, I thank you very much, and thank the organizers for giving me extra 5 days.
With highest regards to my previous speakers, let me place two paradoxical situations, slightly differing their views in not technical terms, in terms of a larger issue of health of the agrarian economy. To be specific, an assured income to the farming community. That's what I'm supposed to focus. I'm sorry, it is the time to, I think, you're eagerly waiting for the lunch. I don't take much time. I don't, an iota of intention to undermine the importance of the soil, there is no doubt. If that is the situation, why we are facing a paradoxical situation? Just a couple of weeks back, Government of India has come forward. It's a solution to the farmers who are on the agitating part, They have blocked the highways to the India, capital of India. They have come out with what is called as the draft national policy framework on agriculture marketing. 2-3 states have already rejected this one, and the farmers are not all happy with this one. The interesting thing, I don't need to substantiate what I'm supposed to say with the facts. Quite a long, it's not very long back, we used to assume that crossing 300 million tons of food grains is something a landmark achievement. We have already crossed the 300 million tons. As per this report, the recent food production is around 330 million tons. Much before that, the unheard situation is only for the food production. Our vegetable production, our horticulture production will cross 350 million tons much before that one. Friends, I am coming from Karnataka. I have few friends, good friends from Karnataka also. I think they are eager to make a story very soon. waiting in Karnataka. At this point of time, tomato price is getting crashed. Very soon you will find a situation, it's already 3 rupees per kilograms. Very soon you will find tomato farmers coming, because it's very nearby district called Kola. They will come to the capital very soon. You will find a situation, good stories, tomato getting flooded on the street, Not very long back, tomato prices come down to 1 rupee 50 paisa per kilogram. Friends, I was also till recently part of many committees pertaining to the agriculture marketing, agriculture prices. I attended a commission for the first time in India. A state could come out with a separate commission called the Pricing Commission. That's the greatest headache I could experience in my life because I was the Pricing Commission. We have, if you take the average of the last 15 years, 10, 15 years, we had a perennial problem of plenty, at least in 10 commodities. Commodities, when you often, I think the occasional shortage, this is sheer mismatch or stupidity of the government. Sometimes tomato is going up. Very temporary mismatch of the demand and supply distribution system. By and large, over the years, in most of the meetings, I could read the minds of the policymakers, especially those who are dealing with the food stock, how to manage 70 billion tons of food produce. On one hand, how to do justice. If that is the case, if the soil health is a problem, why we are in a situation of such a paradoxical situation of problem of plenty? You will see that the most of the time you will find these problems, milk getting at Punjab is often, I have the data, often milk is flooded on street, tomato on street, vegetable on street. Okay, so this is a paradoxical situation. But that's not the important for me. The way I'm supposed to write it. If agriculture is doing well by and large, with due regard to the at present level of soil and other related issues, agriculture is doing well, very well. During the COVID period, just recall back, during the COVID period, had it been the problem of supply, and much more than problem of skyrocketing prices, we had a comfortable supply and that supply to our doorstep. As per the government data, during the COVID time, Indian farmer brought 10% more area under cultivation because they are totally free. They are not scared of all, because our services, we are not scared of death at all. 10% more area into farming during the COVID time. Had it been a problem at the time, it would have been the situation of the Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, that's an acute food problem. Then what is this paradox here? Number one, much more paradoxical situation. If farmers, tomato average yield in my state, 30 to 40 tons per acre. 40,000 kilograms. I have the varieties, IHR, International Horticultural Research, have come out with 60 tons per acre, not a hectare. Then what's happening to the farmers? I have just, yesterday, supposed to, I had to have a Zoom meeting because of the interest of I could not. The Dalewala, this group, want to say what they have some word. They have been in touch with me for a quite long time. They are on street for 1 year, more than 1 year. February is the second round of their struggle. And very recently we have come out with the National Wealth Bureau report, often highlighted in the newspaper, especially in 4-3 southern states, farmer suicide. As per the National Wealth Bureau, I think in the last 1 decade, farmer suicide has crossed 5 lakh. If you convert that into the per day, it is 42 or 43 per day. If you still convert it to an hour, by the time we complete, farmers could have ended the precious life. 2 farmers per hour. Why this is happening? Rampant migration. So this is much more paradoxical. Agriculture doing well. If our scientists could provide a variety, technology to see that would yield 60 tons per acre of tomato, why farmers on street? So I think the result is paradoxical. I think somewhere you have made a wonderful figure you have given. In 1960, I think, for every 1 kilograms of fertilizer used to eat 100 kilograms of the grain. It has come down to 10 grams. This speaks volume about how the cost of cultivation is became a problem much beyond the purview of the technical parlance we used to say. Cost of production is not A1, A2, C1, but beyond that. I think it's a time for us to link the soil health with the larger agrarian issues and agriculture cost with the larger issue of the predictable income security to the farmers. I think where we ended, I was in the university for 30 years, our focus, overriding consideration was to produce. We came up with the wonderful varieties, technologies, irrigation, coupled with the government policies, everything, but we failed to see what after production. Precisely the retribution, value addition, storage, and more precisely to the marketing, prices. Much more important, even it's very much missing in parlance, hopefully it is not missing hereafter if you focus, not only what after production, what happened to those who produced, farmers in questions. I think there is a strange decoupling is required. It's a terminology often used in the WTO parlance, decoupling. Agriculture and agriculturist, farmers and farming, they are not one and the same. Definitely, at this point of time, I can say with all my credibility as an agricultural economist involved in the policy making, Indian agriculture as a sector doing very well. Even this report, the focus is on what to do with the surplus. Focus should be more on the export, no doubt. Then our focus yet to be done towards the farmers, a human element. I think that should be the focus here. With that, let me see that I don't have much time and. When Shadun asked me to make a presentation with this wonderful group, I was a bit scared and also a bit nervous. Facing the journalist, wonderful journalist with such a wonderful background. Then she said, don't worry, you're not supposed to speak on the agrarian situation, farmers to say, and doubling the farmers' income. You should supposed to focus on something basic, yours is the fundamental. So basic is the agriculture cost of production. Sometimes, the basics are very important. Of course, that makes somebody like me who make a presentation, my position, which I only say the basics. You look at the problem, how to be resolved in case of some great players, they keep on failing, Take the case of the Tendulkar, Kohli. A good, sensible guide, advice is to say, look at the basics. Don't worry about your class, form, fitness and anything. Whether you keep, I don't know. Very recently, Kohli hit a century, they say, 100% footwork in each and every. Footwork makes a lot of difference, And your eyesight, and how to grip the angle. These are the small basics. What they say, look at the basics. I think in agriculture, if you want to look at the agrarian issue in a larger perspective, let us look at the basics. Basics is the agriculture cost, and followed by agriculture cost is the MSP. I think MSP should be puzzling. I don't know. You are not focused. I am not finding anywhere in newspaper, media focusing. Why only there is an MSP in agriculture? I don't think in any sectors, any producers come out with, please announce the MSP. Is there an MSP for the industrial product? Even chaiwala, barber and cobbler also don't say that. What is the MSP? Government fixing a price for something, which you supply. I produce farmers. What is they producing? Nutritious, healthy food, essential commodity, coming to the nation, coming to the society, coming to the government. Please fix, announce an MSP. Then the MSP should be MSP. Why this hopeless situation only for farmers? As a producer, no other producers in the economy never think of something asking the price. They are the price maker. Only farmers are the price takers. There's a whole lot of theory in a perfectly competitive market, in a lot of producers. That's fine. Then the fallout of that, you will see all these farmers on street, farmers on MSP. But anyhow, the MSP is a whole lot of interesting history. I think it's during 1960s. MSP for agriculture commodities and also an administrative pricing mechanism. It is under the larger policy intervention called the administrative pricing mechanism. You don't allow the prices of a commodity to be decided by the market forces, supply and demand. If there is no demand, then you cannot have the zero price. The government intervenes because of the food production. And interestingly, the administrative pricing also came along with the investment introduced much more effectively for other two commodities, industrial commodities, petroleum and oil, petroleum and diesel. Look at administrative pricing mechanism has a total, it is precisely government intervention, not allowing the market traders, somebody to decide a distribution. Till today, government is moving with the distributions and administrative pricing and controlling the prices for the petrol and diesel and natural oil. Most efficient system of distribution, more or less at a similar line, but here is the case, administrative pricing mechanism, MSP, failure in all respect. Long back, when the ration shops were constituted, ration shops was looked at the analogous with the petrol bunks. Appears to be little stupidity, but in both cases, even today, government control is apparent, strong. Most efficient, if you go to the anywhere in the countryside, you will have excellent distribution systems, not even in 1 hour, you may have the problem of supply of the water and milk, not the diesel and petrol. Is it a question of corruption? Is it a question of mishandling? Wonderful thing across the trade for the distribution of the one setup, for the industry. But here is the case. So I think the administrative pricing mechanism is something which is very interesting to see that why it failed there, why it cannot yet to make successful. Next, please. Before coming to this one, we often use the cost of cultivation. Even in ordinary farmers say, what is the price he or she expect is, MS Swaminathan price. What is the MS Swaminathan price? It's asking to anyone. One cannot just declare that one. What is the total cost of production? You can see that. I should get at least a profit margin of 50%. I don't know why not 51%, why not 47%. What is that so great? Anyhow, it's appealing. You should have 50%. And 50% margin is like a skyrocketing. Tomato, MS Swaminathan price is around 20 rupees. Tour is 75 rupees. Many times you have crossed MS Swaminathan price. Anyhow, I think we often use the terminology. I think you also refer C2 plus 50. Cost C2 plus 50. Then government say, no, we don't want to give C2 for 50. What is it? A, B, C? In A game? Have you thought of that one? If you could, I can understand so that what is the equal understanding of why this. These are called as the farm unit cost concepts. Here lies the whole design of the neoliberal policy. I think if I could make it the type of it's most important. What is this cost concept? Anywhere in the industrial output, commercial output, and enterprise, there are these 4 factors of production. Capital is very important. You cannot think of any production without capital. You should have the land, control the building for industry. You should have the labor and the management to combine all. These are the 4 factors of production. It is very preliminary for those who get into the agriculture economics. While applying, somebody, he or she look at whether all these factors of production, he is actually 1 acre getting into the industry or agriculture, 10 crore rupees, 10 lakh rupees, invest them. In either cases, in every case, he is all and he has to involve or she has to involve in the management and the labor. All these factors of production should be rewarded adequately. That's it. Meaning, I think most basic rule of the cost calculation. If I apply 1 acres of land for farming, I should get this much and as a return. And in most of the cases, we don't look at the direct cost. What is in economics, what is called as the opportunity cost. That is a cost in a way defines our great philosophical stand in our life every day. We don't look at the actual thing, what would happen, but we have the alternatives. That's as your son is getting into a job. Then you look at what are the different types of jobs, where I can get a good say, good salary, good work conditions. I used to always put my daughter is getting engaged, she asks her, you have hundreds of the app to have a good, and also look at who should be the best bank. So you look at always it's the human tendency, look at the value of the next best alternative for that. Okay, if I get into this job, then what would have been the alternative for me? Is it okay or not? I don't just get into something, take a decision. Okay. Then that rule of the opportunity cost is not applied here. That's the problem. Why if you get into the cost of cultivation, to begin with, we get it, there's a whole lot of simplicity problem. We are not, to be frank with you, I'm agricultural economics, we have not applied our mind to see that, as a result, we have seen all this problem. You just take the case of it's interesting, just take the case of the paddy. Yeah, what is this one, very recent cost data and also yield data of the major 13 paddy growing states in Karnataka, in India. What's it I am supposed to say here? As per the government, paddy, and most of the crops cultivation is very crafted, that somebody has to question very seriously. I'm coming to very shortly. So paddy cultivation in India gives a return if the MSP is there. There's $1 million question in the MSP. That's what the farmers are telling. You should not only announce MSP, that you should that MSP guaranteed. MSP is a commitment to the government of India. See that you produce, fill the food security basket, provide sufficient buffer stock. In return, we'll assure a minimum price of this one. I think the greatest fundaments are not keeping up the promise, reaching of the promise of the free India is the reaching that the MSP promise. There is no guarantee. But anyhow, even if it is the case that MSP is declared, they say 53% is the margin. It's much more than that MS Swaminathan. But go to any farmer in the street, if they say that you are getting the profit of already 53%, this is a large figure. Farmers have already told, they laugh at that, and they are angry, they are unhappy. They say it is the biggest doka, they can say that it's not at all one, And here is the case, somehow you're meddling with the cost. Which cost is, or which cost, you're supposed to be 53% is something special. But more than that, Shadun has asked me to see that, whether the one nation, one MSP, we are obsessed with one nation, many things, we are obsessed with the whole India, diversity, complexity of India, getting reduced to the one thing. The one nation, one MSP may not work. It's good for Punjab, Punjab farm gives a return of 153%, no doubt. Highly fertile land, fertile soil, 100% irrigation, 100% electricity. But what about the case like other states like Maharashtra, minus 34%. And in other places, very less. In Karnataka, it is not much, Okay, what I can say is one nation, one MSP, based on a cost called A1 and F2. What is it, A1 and F2? I said, 4 factors of production, taking only the consideration of paid out cost. If you have any background of the farming, suddenly cost comes to the seed cost. Fertilizer cost is much more than 10%, sir. The fertilizer cost is more than that one. Fertilizer as per assessment. Okay. 15 minutes or 5? I don't see what yeah, it's more than 23% put agrochemical market input is taken into account. It's 23% huge. That doesn't put the pesticides and other things. It's not 10%. Anyhow, What's the category? Yeah. So only you take into the account how much you have invested on fertilizer, seed, pesticide, and also labor. What about your own land? What about the family labor, day and night in the most of the small farmer throughout the day, probably throughout the year in their home field? What is the opportunity cost of the family labor? Had they worked in the Narega, they could have had some more thing. What about the land? That is the contentious question they are asking. M.S. Swaminathan reputation says that you take the opportunity cost of the land. What does it mean? That in most of the cases, you are your own owner of your own land, but you have the opportunity to lease it out. Okay, you are opportunity to converting land into the many other things and sell it. You have foregone everything to sustain the food security basket of India. You are devoted your precious land and cultivating. Accept that you have the problem of plenty. Accept that you can play all these games with the so-called buffer stock, So I think only take that's what I can say, the present system of MSP takes into account only the cost which you pay out of your pocket, the paid out cost. Especially cost A1, that is only for the capital, not for the land. Assuming that your land is free, assuming that you don't have any, your opportunity cost is zero in economic terminology, you don't have any option to do agriculture other than the agriculture here. You are doing it. You don't have any opportunity to work outside, you have to work. And about the management skills. So all these, if you just look at the industrial enterprise, what is the highest cost? Who is the highest paid? MOD. Is it not? Managing director is he or she is paid very high. Probably IM graduate. But who is the MD in agriculture? I'm not joking. No, the amount of the decision making process that undergoes within the mind of the farmer, which seed has to be used, which day, when to produce. I think absolutely no reward for the management cost. All this put together because the cost, C2 and cost C. Farmers are asking a simple way, don't look at the A1 and F2, A1 and 2x family labor, 50% margin over that one, but you give the total margin over the total, that's what there is common recommendation. But anyway, what I can see, even taking into the account A1 and F2, only cost, if you take the cost you bear with your out of pocket, in paddy production is not profitable across India. There's one nation, one MSP won't work here, but if you take it to the comprehensive cost, which is Swaminathan, definitely. Here is a big question. I don't have the answer for this. I think you should focus on this. Look at the reluctance of the government, reluctance of the economy, reluctance of the whole set of a pricing mechanism is to see that, land rent should not be the cost of production. That's precisely true. Land rent and own land is the opposite sort of land. That gives to the inflation, that gives to the skyline with the due regard, hereafter, please don't use the term, when the promoter price just goes up for a skyrocketing price. On price goes up, then you will find blood not appear. Please, it's a temporary. But anyhow, if the pardon?
Just next slide.
I'm sorry, I'm going that.
Yes.
Okay. This is a very important thing. If you take into account only, it is pertinent to the Karnataka. If you take into account only those crops which farmers base, agriculture appears to be little profitable in case of few crops like paddy. But if you take into account all costs, including the farmers' own labor, farmers' land cost, most of the things is negative. So in this background, let me challenge, let me question. CSCP report is very much here. It projects the picture that most of the cases we have ensured the 50% margin. hiding that, which cost, they are contributing margin. More important, this report also lists the entire saying that income of the farmers in India growing at the rate of, has grown at the rate of 5%, 5.23% every year. Where is the income survey has done? Is it the GDP growth is synonymous? Ramesh is my good friend. There's a macro picture of how much is the GDP in agriculture is growing. Cannot that whether it is the synonymous with the income of the farmer? Is it predictability?
We have to wrap up now.
Yeah. So the most crucial question here is, if the inclusion of the rental value of the land is unacceptable to the economy, then how come the price of the land is skyrocketing? What is the price of the land in and around? I think average price of land in Karnataka, anywhere even the dry land is not less than 30 lakh rupees. So how come this situation, this economy is ready to buy your land at a lower price, at a skyrocketing price, but not to give a opportunity cost of land, keeping with you with the rental value. It's a strange paradox, So this is how we have to look at the whole the economy it works. The critical question, I think we have to look at that disconnect, rental value, opportunity cost principles, and if you get into the yeah, this is the one that I'm supposed to focus more on. The ecological cost is equally important. I said the direct cost, which I and you and even farmers also feel, the opportunity cost which farmers themselves are getting with great difficulty. We could make the tax farmers making the land is also something in cost. That if you get into the external cost, you have mentioned about the land degradation, pesticide cost. I think our approach, integration of the external cost, the ecological cost also, to see that it's very ambitious. I don't have this point that we can look at. But when you get into the question of the climate change, it's a question you have already addressed the multifunctional role of the agriculture with the nutrient value, soil improvement value, carbon farming, and ultimately, if you could see that, the MSP or whatever it was, the farmers have the legitimate right to see that they get the reward for not only taking care of the food security, supplying the food on time, but also taking care and their capacity to take care of the climate change also. I think various forms of the payment to the carbon farming is coming up in the course to come. I think we should have a mechanism. I'm not sure whether the market forces, could come out with it's called the price discovery that incorporates all this cost, but the government intervention, that's the rule anywhere in India, anywhere in the world, to see that, farmers have the legitimate right to get what it is a moral obligation to see that they must get not only their contribution on enhance the food security and also potential contribution to mitigate the climate change effect. In that case, the cost accounting should have its own reorientation and see that MSP should reflect all these costs. I think that's the larger justice we can make, not only to the farmer and also for ourselves, for the food security, and more important for see that it's the climate change benefit. So this I think there should be one.
I think we should remit us. Very sorry.
Anyhow, I have given a small note as that way what is the potential of the carbon sequestration from the each hectares of land and how much we can do. So let me come to clear. I'm sorry, I will take more time. And see that where I am. If I could confuse you, I think my job is done more than enough. And keep the question. That's what an easier thing. If I could leave some questions, it's supposed to be very bothering and provocating. And if you, most wonderful section of the society could take it further. That's excellent for me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. I'm sure you'll have lots of questions. We can discuss that over lunch with all three of them, and we should really proceed for lunch now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the speakers.
You're close. चले हम